Imagine a robotic arm,
Mm.
right, holding a scalpel, and it doesn't move with this perfect, like, mathematical rigidity.
Right, it's not stiff or robotic at all.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Instead, it moves with the exact nuanced tremor of a human surgeon who has, been operating for 30 years. It literally breathes with them.
It's honestly incredible to picture.
Yeah, it really is. And welcome in, everyone, to today's deep dive.
Right.
We are looking at a stack of sources today from July 15th, 2026 that prove this massive shift is happening right now.
A really fundamental shift, yeah.
Because, the media loves to paint artificial intelligence as this monolithic, terrifying force that's just coming to replace us all. But the actual data from the ground tells a completely different story.
A much more optimistic one, actually.
Totally. So we're pulling together updates spanning medicine, the arts, and the modern economy. And our mission today is to just cut through all the daily noise and that, information overload for you.
Because there is so much noise out there.
So much. But the pattern emerging from these sources, it isn't about machines trying to replace us. It is about how they're actively trying to collaborate with us.
Yeah, and the real story hidden within this curated stack we're looking at is how AI is learning to interface with human intuition.
Human intuition, right. Which is so uniquely ours.
Exactly. We are moving entirely away from that outdated paradigm of the machine as a competitor.
Thank goodness.
Right. The data across these completely different sectors points to this new era where the machine is the ultimate collaborator. It's mapping our quirks, our physical styles, our creative impulses, and then building an architecture to just amplify them.
And the highest stakes arena for this new human-AI collaboration is obviously our own physical health.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, like we are seeing a massive breakthrough regarding Alzheimer's disease detailed in the sources today. We basically have an AI model predicting the onset of Alzheimer's with remarkable accuracy.
They're catching it so early.
Right. Catching early signs literally years before any actual symptoms appear. But looking at the breakdown, this isn't just about spotting a memory test failure a little bit earlier, right?
No, not at all.
The technology is fundamentally changing what we even consider to be an early sign.
And the medical field has desperately needed this shift. Historically, neurodegenerative diseases have forced doctors into a really reactive corner.
Because you can't do much once it starts showing, right?
Exactly. By the time a patient is showing noticeable cognitive decline, the forgetfulness, confusion, personality changes, the disease has already caused significant irreversible damage to the physical structure of the brain.
Man, that's just so devastating.
It is. The physician is largely restricted to just managing a decline that is already well underway. But this new AI model flips the timeline completely.
How so?
Well, it processes millions of data points across brain scans and genetic markers to find the storm before the first cloud even forms, so to speak.
I want to break down how it's actually doing that, because the mechanics here are just wild. Like, humans look at an MRI and see macro structures.
Right, the big picture stuff.
Yeah. A radiologist is trained to look for shadows or asymmetries or obvious tumors. But this AI uses a neural network trained on millions of cross-sections, and it completely ignores the macro picture.
Zooming way, way in.
Exactly. It is looking at pixel-by-pixel density gradients. It's searching for, like, a fraction of a % shift in gray matter density in one specific quadrant that mathematically correlates with a genetic marker for Alzheimer's.
Yeah, it processes the image as this vast matrix of numbers. It's identifying probabilistic correlations across thousands of scans that a human visual cortex simply isn't designed to process.
We literally just can't see it.
No, we can't. A human eye cannot see a 0.5% degradation in tissue density over a 2-year period. But to an algorithm, that data point is screaming like an alarm bell.
It's identifying microscopic patterns in the biological data architecture itself.
Exactly.
It's kind of like, it's less like having a standard check engine light on your dashboard that pings when the engine is, already smoking on the highway.
Right, which is too late.
Exactly. It's more like having a million master mechanics listening to your engine simultaneously, and each one is comparing the exact pitch of your engine's hum to every broken engine they've ever fixed in human history.
That is a great way to put it.
Like, they can hear a microfracture in a timing belt 3 years before the engine actually stalls.
And that fundamentally changes human maintenance. When you can detect biological degradation at the microscopic, pre-symptomatic level, you extend the timeline of intervention radically.
Which is life-changing for so many people.
Completely. For you or anyone listening with a family history of neurodegenerative diseases, this means treatments can begin before the damage cascades. Medicine moves from a discipline of reaction to a discipline of pure, highly targeted prevention.
It's just incredible. But the medical updates don't actually stop at diagnostics, though.
No, they don't.
They take us directly into the surgical theater, which connects right back to that robotic arm holding the scalpel we talked about at the start.
Right, the AI-assisted surgery.
Yeah. We are seeing AI-driven robotic surgery where surgeons are collaborating with intelligent robots to perform incredibly complex procedures. And I know robotic surgery itself has been around for a while, right?
Oh, yeah, for years now.
But the breakthrough here in the sources is the feedback loop. These robots use advanced algorithms to actually adapt to the surgeon's specific physical style in real time.
Which is fascinating because the initial fear with automated surgery was always that it would force every operation into this rigid robotic standard.
Like a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Exactly. The assumption was that developers would program the mathematically perfect angle to make an incision, and the human surgeon would essentially just be there to authorize a standardized, pre-programmed movement.
Just pushing a button, basically.
Right. But the sources show the complete opposite is happening. I mean, every veteran surgeon has a unique physical rhythm.
Oh, sure.
They have a specific amount of pressure they apply, a unique angle they favor based on, their height, their grip strength, their years of physical experience.
So the AI isn't enforcing a robotic standard at all. It's mapping the human variable.
Yes.
It takes the surgeon's unique technique and it optimizes it. Like the machine provides haptic feedback measuring the resistance of the tissue in literally milliseconds, and it stabilizes the surgeon's hand to prevent any micro tears without actually taking over the physical movement.
It's acting as the ultimate co-pilot. It's learning the human rather than forcing the human to learn the machine.
And the tangible result of that localized collaboration is remarkable, because the AI is making these micro adjustments to the surgeon's specific technique to optimize safety. The tissue experiences way less trauma.
Which means the patient spends less time under anesthesia and recovers significantly faster.
Exactly. The technology elevates individual human expertise instead of trying to, replace it with some generic statistical average.
It's such a brilliant application.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it makes you realize that AI is getting incredibly good at understanding human nuance and style, which kind of begs the question, if a machine can map the physical rhythm and nuanced tremor of a surgeon's hands, can it map the creative style of a human mind?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right. And our sources highlight this massive shift currently rippling through the creative industries. We're seeing AI tools composing original music scores in a matter of minutes, allowing musicians to experiment with massive new soundscapes.
And the mechanism behind this music generation is just fascinating.
Tell me about it, because it's not actually inspired.
Right. The AI isn't inspired in the human sense. It understands music as a complex mathematical architecture.
Okay.
It has analyzed the probability distribution of notes, chords, and tempos across thousands of genres. So when prompted, it generates a statistically pleasing sequence of notes based on those learned probabilities.
Interesting.
It provides this incredibly complex raw material for the artist to work with instantly.
Okay, but wait, doesn't that, inherently devalue the art, though?
A lot of people argue that it does.
Yeah, like if I can generate a complex, structurally sound symphony in the time it takes me to brew a cup of coffee, it kind of turns music into an assembly line product.
Right. And the sources explicitly mention this debate.
Yeah, with purists arguing that AI-generated music is just totally devoid of emotional depth. If the machine is just spitting out probability distributions, aren't we just flooding the world with soulless acoustic math?
Well, the fear of the assembly line assumes that the creation of the raw material is the entirety of the artistic process.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the AI can generate a technically flawless chord progression, but it doesn't feel sadness or joy or tension. It doesn't know why a minor chord evokes melancholy in the human nervous system.
It just knows that it does.
Exactly. It only knows that the sequence is statistically common in melancholic music. The human artist is the essential emotional filter.
I look at it kind of like the invention of the synthesizer in the 1980s.
Oh, that's a perfect comparison.
Right. Purists absolutely hated the synthesizer back then. They argued it wasn't a real instrument, that it was just a machine making artificial noise, and it was going to destroy authentic musicianship forever.
But it obviously didn't.
No. Eventually, human artists used that artificial noise to spawn entirely new, emotionally resonant genres of human expression. The synthesizer didn't replace the soul of the music. It just gave the artist a brand new vocabulary.
That's exactly what's happening here. The AI is serving as a hyperproductive muse, banishing the terror of the blank page.
Yes, the dreaded blank page.
Right. The human composer listens to those AI-generated scores and applies their lived experience. They might decide a generated melody is beautiful, but structurally hollow.
So they tweak it.
Yeah, they slow it down, change the key, isolate a specific instrument to build emotional tension. The artist's role is shifting from generating every single note from scratch to directing, curating, and refining the emotional impact of the piece.
And we are seeing that exact same dynamic of human curation paired with machine generation in the visual arts too.
Yes, the film restoration stuff.
Yeah. The sources detail how AI algorithms are currently being used to restore and colorize old black and white films. And it's not just slapping on some generic sepia-toned color filter.
Yeah, it's way more advanced than that.
The AI is analyzing thousands of images to accurately predict the exact colors and textures that were likely present in the original scenes, basically preserving cinematic history for modern audiences.
And the AI restoring these films is operating as an impossibly fast historical detective.
It's crunching so much data.
Unbelievable amounts. To do this accurately, the algorithm has to understand the historical context of the fabrics used in 1920s clothing, for example.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it has to cross-reference the specific shades of brick used in a particular city during that era and calculate the exact way natural sunlight interacted with early, highly flammable film stock.
Which is insane. No single human could hold all that data in their head, much less apply it frame by frame, pixel by pixel, to a 2-hour movie.
Impossible.
It would take a century to restore a single silent film.
Exactly. The algorithm handles that astronomical volume of data crunching, effectively rebuilding the physical reality of the past.
It's doing the heavy lifting.
Right. But just like the music producer filtering the AI chords, a human restoration expert is guiding the film algorithm. The human ensures the historical accuracy and maintains the artistic integrity of the original filmmaker's vision.
So the AI does the grunt work, but the human provides the soul and the artistic direction.
Spot on.
So the overarching theme across these elite fields is super clear. We have elite surgeons using AI to map and physically enhance their operations. We have creative artists using AI as a hyperproductive muse and a historical detective.
It's a clear pattern of augmentation.
But how does this dynamic apply to, the listener who is just clocking into their daily job, sitting at a desk and trying to get through the week?
That's where it really gets relevant for most people.
Yeah, because the final section of our sources looks at the macroeconomic shift regarding AI in the everyday workplace.
And look, the pervasive anxiety is that AI is coming for the white-collar worker, the administrator, and the middle manager.
Oh, everyone is terrified of that.
But the recent workplace study highlighted in our sources points to a reality focused entirely on augmentation rather than replacement. AI is absorbing the highly repetitive mechanical tasks within the corporate structure.
So it's taking the busy work.
Exactly. By automating routine data processing, it is actually freeing up human employees to focus on complex strategic activities.
Which is actively driving up both productivity and job satisfaction, according to the data.
Which makes perfect sense, honestly.
It really does. Nobody grows up dreaming of spending 4 hours a day formatting cells in a spreadsheet, right? Or digging through an inbox to answer the exact same customer question 50 times in a row, or manually cross-referencing expense reports.
It's mind-numbing work.
Exactly. That kind of work doesn't require human empathy or complex strategy. It just requires time and repetition.
And those are the exact tasks the AI architecture is designed to swallow.
It eats that stuff up.
It does. The algorithm excels at pattern recognition and data organization, which are the foundational elements of administrative busy work.
The historical upgrade from a manual paper ledger to digital spreadsheet software is like the perfect parallel here.
Oh, that's a great point.
Right, because when spreadsheet software was invented, accountants were terrified. They thought a computer doing the math instantly meant their entire profession was completely obsolete.
But it didn't eliminate the accountant at all.
Not even close. It just stopped them from doing basic, soul-crushing arithmetic by hand. Because they didn't have to spend hours adding up columns, they could finally focus on high-level financial strategy. It literally elevated their role from human calculators to financial advisors.
And the macroeconomic shift detailed in the sources reveals a really profound truth about the future of the job market based on that same idea.
What's that?
The true differentiator moving forward isn't human versus machine. The competition is humans trained on AI versus humans who aren't.
Okay, wow. So the ultimate bottleneck isn't the technology itself. It's human fluency with the technology.
Yes, exact.
It's an arms race of AI literacy. The person who knows how to seamlessly delegate their busy work to an algorithm is going to run absolute circles around the person who insists on doing it all manually.
And the corporate world is acutely aware of this bottleneck.
They have to be.
The sources explicitly mention that companies are investing billions of dollars in AI training programs for their workforce. And this training isn't just about showing employees how to log into a chat interface.
It's not just, here's how to type a question.
No, it is highly advanced literacy. They are training employees on prompt engineering, understanding the hallucination rates of different models, and learning how to securely integrate AI into proprietary company databases.
Which is huge. Because if the goal was simply to replace workers, companies wouldn't be spending massive amounts of capital training them to use the very tools that are supposedly replacing them. Right?
It wouldn't make any financial sense.
Exactly. This corporate investment proves that human critical thinking, human empathy, and human strategy are still the most valuable assets in the economy. The human mind just needs to learn how to interface with a new operating system.
Well said. The employee of the future is essentially a manager, and their direct reports are specialized AI models.
I love that framing.
Yeah, the human sets the strategy, defines the goals, and curates the output, while the AI just executes the mechanical labor.
Taking a step back and looking at this full stack of updates from July 2026, a truly cohesive narrative really does emerge.
It's surprisingly consistent.
It is. We started with cutting-edge medical diagnostics catching microscopic shifts in brain density years early. Then we looked at algorithms restoring a century of cinematic history by cross-referencing light and fabric data. And finally, we examined the daily office tasks we all deal with.
And in every single domain, the sources point to an era of AI as a powerful collaborator.
A co-pilot.
Exactly. And understanding this pattern allows you to drop the anxiety of information overload. You don't need to fear the tool, nor do you need to understand every underlying line of code.
Thank goodness, because I definitely don't.
Most of us don't. You simply need to figure out how to wield it. Look at your own life and your own job, identify the routine, mechanical tasks dragging you down, and let AI handle them.
Free yourself up.
Yes. This frees you to return to the complex, creative work that actually requires a human mind.
Right. Let the AI be the engine diagnostic tool, let it be the synthesizer, let it be the spreadsheet. You get to be the mechanic, the musician, and the strategist.
Absolutely.
But before we wrap up today's deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over, kind of building on the mechanics we've unpacked today.
Okay, let's hear it.
So we saw how AI is already capable of mapping a surgeon's highly specific physical rhythm to optimize their hand movements, right? And we saw how it can predict an artist's exact color palette. It learns our physical and creative habits through this constant feedback loop.
It adapts precisely to the individual user.
Exactly. So what happens when the everyday AI tools we use at our desks, in our emails, and in our meetings start mapping our individual cognitive styles?
Oh, that's fascinating.
Right. Like if an algorithm can learn exactly how much pressure a surgeon applies to a scalpel, will our AI assistants eventually map how our unique minds learn and process information?
Wow.
Just imagine an AI that knows exactly when your focus peaks during the day or what kind of logical problems you struggle to grasp, and precisely how to format data so you understand it perfectly the very first time you read it.
That would be a game changer.
It is such a fascinating proposition to consider that your ultimate digital collaborator might eventually understand the mechanics of your own mind better than you do yourself.
It forces us to ask some really deep questions about self-awareness in an age where the machine is constantly holding up a perfect mirror to our own cognitive habits.
It absolutely does. And on that wild note, we are going to wrap up today's deep dive.
It's been a great one.
It really has. I hope this exploration helped cut through the noise and gave you a much clearer picture of the landscape ahead. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, stay curious, keep exploring, and we will see you for the next deep dive.